Hey, what's up, everybody? Again, this is your boy John, the Date Dr. Clark. And again, I want to give another smooth shout out to my supporters, my family members, and my friends, my followers, y'all. Without you all, there'd be no me. Without you all, there would be no point in kind of uplifting and embracing my people. But as always, I got another very delicate topic of discussion, for my couples that are going through the struggle. My couples that are going through the struggle of communicating the right way and wonder why in the hell does it keep going to hell. So pay attention to this. Y'all, there's a reason why you guys' level of communication keeps going to hell. There's a reason why you all's level of communication always leads towards an argument. There's a reason why each and every time you all try to communicate, it doesn't go well. It always goes left. Nothing is ever resolved. We never get to a good place. We never get to a consistent outcome. Y'all, there's a reason. But again, let me put an S on that word. Y'all, there are reasons why you all are not getting to that safe place. I got a couple things I want to run by you. So for my people that are trying to give something off to your partner, for my people that are trying to relay a message, for my people that are trying to let your partner know what's bothering you, remind me of your intent. Think about it this way. What exactly do I mean by that? Your intent. Remind me of your approach. What's the intent behind you trying to have that conversation with your partner? Think about it this way. The actual intent, the actual purpose is that you're pissed off and you want something to stop. So the only way that you want something to stop is to assume that maybe they don't know what the hell that they're doing that's causing you to be pissed. Maybe they're waiting on you to present the issue to them. Maybe they know what they're doing, but they just feel like, well, they've been getting away for a while now, so maybe they're just kind of waiting on you to present that it is indeed an issue. So you make that effort to present the issue, but you got an attitude, but you coming at them real aggressive. But you coming at them sideways. You coming at them from the left. You coming at them yelling and screaming. Y'all, if that's your intent, is to come at them aggressive, if that's your intent to come at them disrespectful, is that your intent to come off at them pissed off, I'm going to keep going. If that's your intent to come off in a way where only thing they're going to see is your fist being balled up, if that's all they're going to see is you cursing and swearing, then guess what? They're only going to see the intent of you having an attitude. They're going to see the intent of you having your fist balled up. They're only going to see the intent of you being super pissed off. The likelihood of them actually paying attention to what in the world is going on with you is now slim to none. Yes, they're going to have a significant idea that something is wrong, but they're not going to care about that at the moment because they're too fixated on your attitude. They're too fixated on your delivery. They're too fixated on whether or not they should duck. They're too fixated on whether or not what's your next move. I can continue. They're too fixated on your delivery. Y'all, if you got an issue with a person, your intent should not be everything I just described. Your intent should be to resolve the issue. Your intent is to be able to deliver in a way that they can understand what it is that you're talking about. Your intent, not to be confused, your intent is not to manipulate the situation. Your intent is not to sugarcoat whatever the hell you're trying to say. Your intent is not to be dishonest. Your intent is to deliver a message so it's clear and concise. That way that person has an idea about what it is that you're talking about. That way is so clear and concise that you all can actually get to a place to resolve the issue. Now, it can't just be coming from a gentle place of the person that's delivering it. It has to come from another place of the person that's on the receiving end as well, because you all are, in fact, a team. And when your intentions are pure, when your intentions are to approach someone from a teammate spirit, then you're going to increase the likelihood of being able to resolve the issue. I'm going to say it again. If both of you all have a very similar intent on being a team at this type of issue and being able to resolve this type of issue, then the likelihood of it transitioning to an argument has now become slim to none. So y'all, be mindful of your delivery. Be mindful of your actual intent. The intent when you're pissed off at a person is to resolve that issue. It's the hope and prayer and wish that the issue does not come about again, or at least the hope and prayer and wish that the issue begins to decrease. So you got to be very mindful about the intent, the attitude, the delivery, because that's definitely important. But it's not just on your delivery. What about the person on the receiving end? This is another segment of some of the things that we're doing that's causing the conversation to go straight to hell. What about the person that's listening in? What about if your delivery was pure? What about if your delivery was on point? What about if your delivery was straight to the point and was full of respect and you were calm and you were poised? What if that person is not listening? What if that person could give two craps about what it is that you're saying? What if that person is not humble? What if that person is so prideful? What if that person does not want to be wrong? What if that person has a history, an extensive history of being dishonest? Then you all no longer have a teamship. You all have an enemyship. You all have something where there's no point of you directing or presenting the issue because they're not going to be listening. They're going to be dishonest. They're going to try their best to wave away from the situation. They're going to try to manipulate the situation. They're going to try to create a sense of a 180. We already know what that is. They're going to do everything possible to switch this bad boy back on you. So I'm going to backtrack a second. Y'all be mindful of the intent. Be mindful that you all are trying to resolve an issue. Be mindful that you all are trying to be a team. Be mindful that in order to be a team, there has to be more than one party. So if a person has the courage and the audacity to present the issue, they're hoping and praying and they're wishing that the person that they're presenting the issue to is mindful, is humble, is able to listen. Not listen just to hurry up and respond, but listening to hear exactly what the presenter is saying. Listening to a level of trying their best to stay in this teamship mentality of actually trying to resolve the issue, because you can't hear you can't listen and talk at the same time. I mean, some folks can multitask, but you all get my drift. If someone's presenting an issue to you, listen, give them your undivided attention. Have a teammate mentality of actually trying to resolve the issue. Now, I don't mean trying to hear and resolve the issue just to get them to shut the hell up. I mean trying your best to help resolve the issue from a team approach about hearing what it is that this person is saying. Trying your best to understand exactly what this person is saying. And if you know exactly where they're coming from, if you know that you've intentionally done something wrong, if you know you were being petty, accept accountability for that. Try your best to apologize. Get to an outcome. Get to a resolution, because if you're trying to manipulate the situation, that 5-minute conversation is going to transition to a 45-minute conversation. Then it's going to be a 24-hour conversation. Then it's going to be a to be continued conversation. And y'all, we know what we're doing. So be mindful. Be a teammate. Be intentional. Approach it from a positive standpoint. Don't approach it from a disrespectful standpoint, because you're not going anywhere but hell when you do those things. So I got a couple of the things I want to present. A lot of us don't know how to communicate in reference to like a sequence of events. And I'm going to thoroughly explain what I mean by that. A lot of us feel as though that when we start a conversation, because there's a difference between a conversation versus an argument, we automatically jump the gun. We go straight for the throat. We go straight for the attitude. We thoroughly explain why to piss us off. And we never get to the outcome. We never get to a place of a resolution. We never get to a place of what we can do to improve, what we can do to better the relationship. What can we do to no longer have this issue to take place? Y'all, we're not talking about that in our conversations, which are reasons why they continue to transition into an argument. Those are reasons why they continue to go straight to hell, because we're not talking right in a sequence of events. Here's the secret. Change up your intention. Don't approach them with an attitude. Pull them to the side. Change the location. Typically, a lot of arguments happen within a household. Change up the scenario. Change up the location. Touch them as you're talking to them. Use a different cadence. Use a different tone. Step outside and have a conversation with your man. Step outside and have a conversation with your woman. Go for a walk. Thoroughly express to them, hey, babe, I was thinking about this the other day. Because I don't want it to turn into an argument, but because I want us to do better in regards to our communication. You did this other day, it kind of bothered me just a tad, but, at the end of the day, I still love you. And I just want to let you know how it made me feel and whatnot. Be intentional. change up your tone. That's your first step. Let them know that something bothers you, but also touch them as you're talking to them. Because when you say it that particular way, it's not going to automatically feel like oh, hell, here she go again, or oh, hell, here he go again. It's going to be a level of, okay, her approach is different. She doesn't want to argue about it. She just kind of wants to express what I may have done to her or him. So after you kind of thoroughly express what this person has done to you, allow them to kind of respond to it. Typically, they're either going to give you an excuse or they're going to, accept accountability for the matter. Or sometimes you're going to have people that are going to try their best to flip it on you. Now, if they're trying their best to flip it on you and not being able to take accountability, they're not listening to the steps that I've been trying to discuss. So on the flip side of that, what if they just truly don't believe that they did it? So what needs to happen is you still thoroughly explain to them, how it made you feel. And prior to you explaining that, make sure you're not being dishonest about this. Make sure you're not trying to manipulate the system. Make sure you're not making an assumption of something that they've done. Because a lot of times, we speak issue into existence. A lot of times we create these illusions. A lot of times we create these hallucinations. A lot of times we create these assumptions. And, we get ourselves so riled up. So we got to be mindful. We got to make sure this indeed not as an assumption. Because a lot of times those assumptions can go left, and it's hard for people to accept accountability based off an assumption. So we got to be very transparent. We also got to be very understanding. So going back to the topic, you present it to this person, it's not from an assumption-based standpoint. You're being cordial with them. You're being transparent. You're being cool and calm. You allow them to kind of understand where you're coming from. Now, after they've kind of responded, after they've somewhat accepted accountability for it, after they've let you know how they feel, your next step is, try your best to kind of keep it under about 3 to 4 minutes in regards to how that person may have made you feel. Describe what type of day it kind of took place. Describe the accountability of everything that you kind of acknowledge and represent that person. Keep that under 3 to 4 minutes. Now, I'm not saying keep it under 3 to 4 minutes as a token of rushing you. But I say keep it under 3 to 4 minutes because a lot of times when we present issues to people, we like to take it to court. And the intentions of conversing with a partner is not for it to escalate to a courtroom proceeding. Because when you take it to court, there's a winner and there's a loser and then there's a judge. You all are on the same team. Nobody's going to be separate in this occasion. You don't need a third party. You don't need a judge. You don't need 2 levels. You don't need a winner, there's a loser. You just need 2 parties that are ready and trying their best to resolve an issue. So keep it under 3 or 4 minutes when you're thoroughly explaining what the issue was that kind of bothered you. Allow this other person to respond. And then your third step is acknowledge what it is that you need. Acknowledge the next step on how can we improve on this? How can we be more mindful of this? Not from a mother to a son relationship, not from a father to a daughter relationship, but how can we decrease this from happening again? How can we decrease this incident from, happening overall? That's what we need to do, y'all. Conversations, when they escalate to hours on top of hours and days on top of days, is because the sequence of events is not going accordingly. It's because we're not conversing right. It's because people are being dishonest. It's because we're not listening. It's because we're not being intentional. It's because we're not starting off on the right foot. It's because we're not approaching it from a teammateship mentality. So again, y'all, as a recap, there's a reason why our communication continues to go straight to hell. Because for one, we're not being intentional. We're not trying our best to resolve the issue. We're sitting here trying to play the blame game. We're starting off with an attitude. We're speaking with a person that does not have the teammateship mentality. We're speaking with a person that struggles to listen. We're speaking with a person that refuses to accept accountability. We're in relationships. We're in friendships. We're in marriages with people that are not positively intentional. We're in marriages. We're in friendships. We're in relationships with people that are selfish. We're in marriages. We're in relationships with those that are not willing to listen to you, which is not going to allow us to get to the next phase of figuring out how we can accept accountability, or the next phase on figuring out how we can get to a resolution, or the proprietary phases of keeping it down to a 3 to 4 minute or 5 minute conversation. Y'all, we got to be very mindful of that. But from realistically speaking, I know sometimes conversations take a heck of a lot longer than 3 to 5 minutes to 3 to 4 minutes. But I'm teaching you all a sequence of events. I'm teaching you all how to be intentional. I'm teaching you guys how to approach in a different way. I'm teaching you all how to get straight to the point. I'm teaching you all how not to prolong a conversation, and it doesn't need to go that far. I'm teaching you all to only focus on the actual issue that you're having. I'm teaching you how to resolve the issue. Do it in 3 to 4 different steps. Shouldn't take 3 to 4 different hours, because if it's taking that long, then all you all are doing is just pointing the finger at each other. All it is a lack of accountability. If it has to take that long, then that's not a conversation. That's a confrontation. And y'all, there's a big ass difference. So again, be mindful of my video. Make sure you share. Pay close attention to the sequence of events that I kind of expressed to you all. And y'all, be proactive, be positive, be intentional, get to the point, keep it under a minimum amount of time, resolve the issue, let them know how you feel. Be intentional, but be with a person that's willing to be mindful with you. Be with a person that's willing to listen to you. Be with a person that's able to be a great teammate for you, not an opponent, not an enemy. Because enemies and opponents, they look at who's winning and they look at who's losing, not in a teammateship. All right, y'all, this is your boy, John Dr. Clark. Feel free to follow me on all social media platforms. Feel free to share this video. Feel free to go to my website, www.thedatedoctor.com. All right, y'all be safe out there. Y'all have a good one.